what's up? It's Anna and Tucker, and we hope you're having a great day. If you are looking for some great audiobook recommendations, you are in the right spot. I commuted to work for more than 15 years, and it was about a 3-hour commute a day. Plus, I'm a busy mom with kids, and I have a lot of things to do, and so I started listening to audiobooks when I couldn't put my hands on a physical book. So I've literally got a backlog of hundreds of audiobooks that I've listened to over the years, and I have several of them to recommend to you for various different lengths of activity type of things. So if you are a busy person, if you commute a lot, if you are a college student who walks around campus a lot, or you just have a lot of daily chores and you want something fun to listen to and you can't always put your hands on a physical book, this video is for you. So let's get into it. So my first batch of recommendations are the shortest audiobooks on this list. They are good for short daily commutes, quick tasks. They're good for pausing a lot. They're not like heavy on the story content, that type of thing. The first one I have for you is Bossy Pants by Tina Fey. It's about 5.5 hours long, and it is narrated by Tina Fey herself. It's her memoir covering her journey from being an awkward kid to her SNL days to her 30 Rock creator days. She provides lots of stories about working in a male-dominated comedy field, motherhood, and body image. It's, like I said, it's self-narrated, and she provides just perfect comedic delivery and timing as you would expect from her. It's a mix of personal anecdotes and workplace observations. It's light, it's funny, and it's a perfect one to listen to when you're looking for stress relief. The next one I have is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. It is about 6.5 hours long. So this is a classic, although it's a newer classic. It's a coming-of-age story told through letters by an introverted teenager named Charlie. It deals with friendship, first love, mental health, and family trauma. The narrator here captures Charlie's sensitive, observant personality. It's emotional, but not super overwhelming, and it's thoughtful rather than heavy. It's great for when you're in an introspective mood during a solo activity like folding laundry or something like that. So the next batch of listens I have for you are going to fall into the 8 to 12 hour range. They're good for weekend projects, longer commutes, that type of thing. When you have longer than 30 minutes to listen to it at a time, these are really good. The first one is a sci-fi pick. It is The Martian by Andy Weir. It's about an astronaut who's stranded on Mars and he must survive using science and ingenuity. It's told through a series of log entries. It's clever, problem-solving narrative. The scientific explanations given are accessible and often humorous. It's fast-paced with constant obstacles that need to be overcome, and the narrator captures the protagonist's wit and determination perfectly. The next one is I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella. She is one of my favorite rom-com authors. This particular one is a rom-com about a woman who loses her engagement ring and then finds a stranger's phone. It's a light, predictable plot with misunderstandings and a happy ending. This book, like many of her others, has Kinsella's signature humor and a very relatable female protagonist. It's perfect for like comfort food listening, if you know what I mean. There aren't any surprises. It's, like I said, it's a little predictable, but it's just very enjoyable and upbeat. It's good for when you need something uplifting and easy. Next up, I have a couple more sci-fi options for you. There's 14 by Peter Clines, and this was like a sleeper hit for me. When I listened to this, I had never heard of Peter Clines as an author, but let me tell you, this one, the story, if you like a good sci-fi mystery that's like also a little out there, this is a really good one. It's about a mysterious apartment building where strange things happen to the tenants. It builds suspense gradually. It's part mystery, it's part supernatural thriller, part science fiction thriller. It focuses on puzzle solving rather than gore or jump scares. It's told from multiple points of view, which help reveal different pieces of the mystery as the story unfolds. And it's really engaging. It's engaging enough to kind of make you forget about your own surroundings as you get lost in the story. And the narration is top-notch. The next one is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. If you've never heard of Ready Player One, it's a pretty popular novel and it's been turned into a movie, but it features a dystopian future where people escape into a virtual reality world, basically. It's a quest story that's filled with lots of 80s pop culture references. It's a fast-paced adventure with lots of puzzles and challenges to be solved. Will Wheaton's narration brings so much enthusiasm to the geek culture references as well. It's an excellent narration. And really, this book is just pure escapist entertainment. It's like a video game, but in book form, and somebody reads it to you. If you're looking for just a good straight thriller mystery with no supernatural elements, you should try The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I actually listened to this one a couple of years ago for a book club that I was in, and I was like kind of running behind in reading it, and so I had an Audible credit and I decided to download it and listen to it instead of physically read it, because I think by the time I realized like when our book club was meeting, I think I had like a week left, and I was like, I am not going to be able to finish this in a week. So I'm going to download the audiobooks so I can listen to it while I'm driving my kids around town and, as I'm like trying to relax at night. But this one is great. It's a domestic thriller about a woman whose husband disappears mysteriously. She's left with a cryptic note and her teenage stepdaughter who hates her. And the vitriol here in the beginning is real. The story unravels her husband's secret past while bonding with her stepdaughter. It's got a steady pace with reveals that keep you engaged throughout the entire novel. It's a character-driven mystery with a lot of emotional stakes. And I just found out that there is a sequel being released in January of 2026, and it's called The First Time I Saw Him. So if you pick this one up, this is a perfect opportunity to listen to it before the new one comes out. There's also an Apple TV series of the same name that is based on this book, which is starring Jennifer Garner, and it's very good. My next recommendation is a classic because I can't give lists without naming at least one classic, apparently, and that is an oldie but a goodie. It is Pride and Prejudice, narrated by Rosamund Pike. So that's the very specific recommendation. I think there's lots of Pride and Prejudice narrations out there, but the one I'm talking about specifically is by the actress Rosamund Pike. It is a classic Austen romance that you probably know the plot of, right? Elizabeth Bennet meets Mr. Darcy. Pike's narration brings new life to these very familiar characters, and her voice work makes the dialogue feel fresh and nuanced. It's the comfort of a known story with an enhanced experience, and it's perfect for when you want something substantial, but not necessarily challenging. It's fantastic. I have two more for you in this group. The next one is another memoir or autobiography. It is Modern Romance by comedian Aziz Ansari. And if you haven't heard of this comedian, he's very, very funny. So this book is an investigation into how dating has changed with technology. It combines sociology research with Ansari's comedy perspective. It's self-narrated by Aziz Ansari, and his comedic timing and observations are fantastic here. They're perfect. It's this interesting mix of fascinating data and funny anecdotes. It's educational, but also very entertaining. And it makes you think differently about relationships. I'm going to be honest. I was very entertained by this one. The last audiobook in this 8 to 12 hour range is Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick. So this book is about a man with bipolar disorder who's trying to rebuild his life after psychiatric treatment. The focus is on mental health, family relationships, and finding hope. It's very different from the movie. There is a movie of the same name, and it is based on this book. It's starring Jennifer Lawrence and, oh my gosh, I forget his name. Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence. I was like, I can picture him in my mind, but I can't think of his name. But the book is very different from the movie. It focuses more on the protagonist's internal journey. It's got uplifting themes about second chances and personal growth, and it's a character study with a very hopeful message. It's very good. Next up are the really long listens. So these are 12 or more hours long, and definitely for a time when you are just doing housework all day, maybe a road trip where all the occupants in the car like to listen to audiobooks, a long flight, that type of thing. The first one I have to recommend is a historical fiction. It's called The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. This is a multi-generational mystery spanning from the early 1900s into present day. It involves an abandoned child, a mysterious cottage, and family secrets. It switches between time periods, and it slowly reveals all the connections between the past and the present. It has very atmospheric writing that's focused on mood and setting, and it's a very slow build that rewards patience. So be patient, but it's perfect for long listening sessions in particular. My next recommendation is a fantasy novel. It is Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. And this is a fantasy about a young queen who inherits a troubled kingdom. It's got a lot of political intrigue mixed with magic and world building, a strong female protagonist making difficult leadership decisions. The narrator, Catherine Kellgren, creates distinct voices for all of the characters that are amazing. And this is complex enough to be engaging without being terribly overwhelming. I do believe that this has been turned into a series since I listened to this one, but I'll check on that and I'll let you know in the little, I'll put a note up if it is a series. And the very last recommendation I have for you is another fantasy. It's called Trial by Fire by Josephine Angelini. This is a young adult fantasy that doesn't read like a young adult fantasy, just in case you're scared about that. It has an alternate world where magic replaces technology. The protagonist is transported to a parallel version of her world. It's got a romantic subplot with political conflict and magical elements. This book is narrated by Emma Galvin, who is one of my top 2 favorite narrators, and she keeps the energy high throughout the entire book. This is accessible fantasy that doesn't require extensive background knowledge, and it's fantastic. A few pro tips for what doesn't work too well when you are listening to audiobooks and you're busy. One of those is complex fantasy with lots of characters and heavy world building. I would tend to stay away from these personally when I'm super busy because it can lead to distracted driving or distracted other things, or you'll miss stuff in the story that you would have ordinarily picked up on if you were listening in a more kind of relaxed environment. Another one that I would stay away from are ones with heavy accents or unclear narration if there's a lot of background noise issues. You'll have a hard time hearing, you'll lose track of the story, and you'll have to do a lot of re-listening, which can get frustrating. It's also not good for dense nonfiction when your brain is already working really hard to do something else. Let your brain focus on that something else and stick with a lighter, easier story to listen to. The last recommendation is not listening to a cliffhanger when you don't have the rest of the series ready to go. The one exception is if the sequel hasn't been written yet and you're starting the series, or you're just getting caught up with the series and the author is anyone other than George R.R. Martin, because he writes hella slow and who knows when that last Game of Thrones novel is coming out. So To go along with the don'ts, I also have some do's that I think are really important. One is having a bit of a download strategy, especially if you're commuting or you are doing a campus walk, you are driving around a lot, that type of thing. If you're going on an airplane, always have about 1.5 times whatever your expected listening time is downloaded to your phone automatically, because you never know if you're going to have access to Wi-Fi. You don't know how strong your data signal is going to be. And trust me, I have been stuck a few times wanting the next book and I can't actually download it because these things are, I don't know, several hundred megabytes. And so depending on your plan, you might get throttled, or, you might not have the data available, something like that. So plan ahead. Also, follow your favorite narrators. When you're listening to audiobooks, take notes on who is a particularly fantastic narrator to you. Like I said, I love Katherine Kellgren. I love Emma Galvin. I love Ray Porter. He is the one that narrates 14 by Peter Clines, and he does several other Peter Clines books as well. So with audiobooks, I actually tend to follow the narrator and not necessarily the author, right? So a lot of times as readers, we follow authors. For physical books, we like their stories, we like their characters, we like the worlds that they build, their writing style, what have you, right? There is an added layer when you are looking for really great audiobooks, because not every narrator is equal. There are narrators who are above and beyond, just so good. And they do a wide range of novels as well. So a lot of times, if you follow a narrator for audiobooks, you may discover amazing books that you never would have found if you'd been only following the author and not the narrator. Remember that no matter how you're listening, nowadays modern listening apps have speed settings. I know Audible does for sure. That is my app of choice. But I know that there's lots of different ways to listen. There's Libby. There's a bunch of different things. So look for those speed settings and adjust it for your environment. If the narration happens to be extra slow, bump it up, right? Listen to it at 1.25 or 1.5. Sometimes I do that. If the narrator is particularly fast, bump it down to 75%, something like that. Play with it and see what lands right for you. Have a backup plan. So in case you run out of what you were really looking forward to reading and you forgot to download some extra stuff, make sure that you have comfort listens that you can re-listen to on days when you're really distracted or you're just running behind and you didn't have enough time to get that new one downloaded and ready to go. And so this is really good practice for when you are not connected at all, right? Those times are few and far between, but they do happen. And so those are just a few things to keep in mind. Let me know in the comments below which of these audiobooks sounds interesting to you, what kind of things you like to listen to when you are busy and you have your hands full. Who are your favorite narrators? Are there any ones that you would recommend to me? I'm always looking for new narrators to follow. Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found something new and exciting to listen to. If you end up choosing one of the books on this list to listen to, let me know how you like it. Give me some feedback. Let me know if these are the types of books you like to listen to, or if you're looking for a different type of book or a different type of narrator. I'm always on the hunt for new, amazing audiobooks. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate all the support. Leave me a comment. I do read every single one, and I always try my best to answer every single comment. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.